Canadian real estate, is the sky falling? Well, we're going to dive into it, maybe read the tea leaves if we can for the month of August. On the Toronto Real Estate Board, we're going to look at the number of showings with my live showing app to see if showings are going up, moving down, what's happening there. Days on market, is that increasing, decreasing, all with the live showing app. So stay tuned. All this and more right after this. Yes, my friends, the Canadian real estate market is going to the trash can if you read the Twitter feed and everything else. Well, of course, things are changing and we're quite aware of things are changing. And here in Ontario, we have a new housing minister, Mr. Paul Calandra, and he will be doing his best to encourage builders to build more housing, and of course local municipalities will build more housing and affordable housing. But I got to remind people that builders are not in it to build affordable housing. Builders are in it to make money. So there's that kind of, we're not aligned, we're not in alignment there. And that's the way builders and developers have always been. Why own a company if you're not in it to make money, right? So that's where the government has to instill, my thoughts, the government has to instill some incentives, some different ownership plans. What we currently have right now in this current buying environment, I don't know about you, it's not working. When you do the same thing over and over again, you can only expect the same results. So we've got to change a number of different ways that we are offering home ownership to Canadians and of course here in Toronto and to Torontonians and the like. So I do got to say thank you to everyone that's been reaching out to me. Lots of DMs over the last several weeks because there is a lot of uncertainty around the market and what's happening. And a lot of agents have been reaching out to me asking for some of the insights. And of course, we're looking at the Toronto real estate market, which is a big, big picture. And if you need something very specific like Richmond Hill or Etobicoke or what have you, you need some data on that, do send me a DM. I'm happy to pull out the report for that and provide some insight and some information on that, as well as if you need to get connected with a realtor like me, pretty much anywhere in Canada, make sure you reach out to me. I'll make sure you're connected with the right person and the right realtor to help you along with your real estate needs. But let's get to it. Let's share my screen. Let's see what's going on. Let's look at the McGowan report for the month of August and see what's happening there. Of course, you can always download this report in the show notes. And here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at the month over month and year to date. But what I really want us to focus on is what happened versus August versus July, not really year over year. We don't care about year over year. We want to know what's going on from month to month. So if you don't want to watch anymore, there you have it. This is the screen to look at. And of course, if you want to dive into it like I do, let's go ahead and do that. So the number of new listings, which we'll focus on first, the black is the previous year, and of course, the gray is this year. And you can see the number of new listings. We've had 15,000, which is up from last year. But what we really do care about is how does that align with the rest of the year? So the last previous months, you can see it here. So we started at 20,000 in June, kind of the beginning of the summer months, if you will, May, June, and it's a difference of 15,000 since June. The number of new listings. Well, Gare, that always happens in August. So let's not fret about that, right? And there's going to be lots of choices. You can go see lots of choices right now if you pull up the app, MLS app, whatever MLS app you're using, whether it's House Sigma or Realtor.ca, or I prefer if you use mine, you can certainly download that. And the cool thing, if you download the one that I have, the app, you'll be able to view sold properties and active properties right across North America, excluding Mexico. So that's pretty cool. So there you have it. If we look at the new listings year to date, we're sitting at 125,000, which is certainly down from where we were at this same time last year and then the previous year. And of course, we're into COVID years, so let's not use that as an example. Let's keep scrolling down. Let's look at the average asking prices. Again, this is across all properties on the Toronto Real Estate Board, which really goes now from from just east of Oshawa all the way into the Etobicoke area and further. Some listings come out of Burlington in a sense, as well as all the way up to now Barrie. Barrie has joined the Toronto Real Estate Board, so that is a huge geographic area. So we're going to see some numbers swing there a little bit, of course. But you can see here, average asking price across all property types are at 1.23 million. Of course, that's down from where we were in June, and of course where we were in July. Again, this all has to do with the seller and the listing agent, their sales strategy. And of course, we're going to see those numbers come down a little bit as buyers are offering a little bit less. So there you have it. Right. Let's move on to the next one. This is the average asking price year to date. Well, there you have it, 1.31. We're going to skip through this because I don't really care about the year to date average asking price. I want to know the number of sold properties. This is a big one. Or I shouldn't say big. This is declining. So 5,900 properties, just shy of 6,000. So slightly down from where we were last year. But Gare, where were we in July? We were at 6,500. And in June, we were at 8,800, almost 8,700. And of course, May, where we peaked, we were at 10,000. So that is a big difference in properties. That's a difference of 4,000 properties, almost 5,000 properties. So that is a huge swing. Of course, we've had some interest rate hikes since then. Of course, just this week, we've had a rate hold. So that's a good thing if you're a buyer. And so we are certainly seeing that number come down. But where's inventory at? Well, we'll look at that in just a minute. And of course, we're going to look at the number of showings and how long does it take to receive an offer or for your home to sell. These are all good numbers from that perspective. However, year-to-date numbers, you can see we're down 10,000 from last year. So we are certainly trending towards a lower year, which we've been talking about really since January. That should be no surprise to any one of us. Okay, average sale price. Now this is the one that people like to sit on. Of course, we're down from where we were last year, and you can see a 3% change from where we were. And in fact, and let's look at the months. So we're at just over $1 million, $1,060,000. We were at 1.1 in July and 1.14 in June, 1.17. So hovering around that 1.1 for a couple of months. You can see here even to April and even into March. So the market has come down obviously since then, the beginning of the year. We're now sitting at $1,060,000. You can see that right there. And that should be no surprise. August is always one of those slower months, and it always has that little dip. If we were to look at the real estate cycle, August is always that dip month, and September usually tracks up a little bit, sometimes a lot of it. But I think this year we're just going to see I don't know if it's going to retract in price, but what I do feel like it's just going to plateau there for the month September, maybe into October. It drops down a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. Average sale price year to date, we're at 1.11. So you can see those numbers there. Again, we're more concerned about month over month as opposed year over year. Average days on market until selling. So we're going to look at the live app here in just a second. So currently we're at 22 days, which is interesting. And that's in line with some of the stuff I pulled yesterday for some of the local areas, some of the stats. In August, we were at last year we were at 25 days, but where were we? How does that trend dating back to say April or May? Well, you can see here that's gone up, basically 3, 4, 5 days. Longer is it going to take you to sell your home? And I'm gonna shed some light. So this is across all property types. We're gonna look at some detached or freeholds in a second here and really see where that number is. And that number, I got to tell you, is different than what we're reporting right here for the month. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us buyers are taking more time, definitely taking more time, and they have more options. So you can see the year-to-date numbers sitting there at 21, but I don't care about that. Average ask to sell ratio. So again, this comes down to, as a listing agent and a seller, what's your sales strategy? Are you offering the property or listing the property, let's say for $1 million, and are you expecting $1 million? Well, you can see, yes, that's exactly what's happening right here. So what we're seeing is full asking price, but the sellers and listing agents are becoming really smart. They're not trying to either two things. There's actually three things. List at fair market value, which you can see is exactly what's happening here. List at a value you can negotiate from. So maybe you list this at $1,050,000 or 1.1 and you negotiate down, or you go the opposite in a hot seller's market sometimes. And in some cases, you're listing the property below fair market value so you can drive that multiple offer. Well, we're not seeing many multiple offers right now, are we? And if you were to ask me, Gary, what strategy as a seller should I use right now? Always, always, always. You always want to be in the market, not on the market. What I mean by that is list at fair market value. And in some cases, and in some pockets, you have to list slightly below fair market value. And what I mean by that, when the pendulum or the ball swings towards a buyer's market, leave some on the table for the buyer. So if you're thinking of listing your home for, let's say, $1,050,000 and the true value is at $1 million, perhaps listed at $995,000, right? Get those buyers in there. That's the only way your home's going to sell. So that would be my strategy around that. Okay, very good. Of course, this is the year-to-date numbers, and you can see that there. What I really want to focus on, though, that again, download that report. If you need some specifics or specific areas, we can fine-tune this report to your area. I want to look at the live showing data. I want to see what's going on the Toronto Real Estate Board. And this is majority of where all brokerages and agents, book their showings. And you can see some of the live data here as well. So just let me get this set up and we'll talk our way through it. Okay, here we are. We are in an app called Broker Bay, which the majority of all brokerages and realtors use on the Toronto Real Estate Board to book showings, to schedule their showings, and it tracks a lot of different information for us, which is absolutely fantastic. So we are looking at the month of August in Markham. Markham's going to be a good data point, as well as Richmond Hill. So we'll look at Richmond Hill in just a second here. And this is for, like I said, the month of August, all freehold. So semis, towns, and detached. We're going to look at all freeholds. And you can see right along the top here, as I move my mouse on the screen, number of new listings, 286, sold 133. So just under half of the homes sold that came to market. Showings were at 9,080. That's down 17% month over month. Offers 491. So some of those properties got multiple offers. Not all of them, I would guess. And then what I really want to focus on, though, of course, is the average price of sold listings. Average days on market before sold is 14 days. So that's slightly less than where you saw some of the stats on the entire Toronto Real Estate Board. Let me flip on this so we can look at the month over month numbers here too. Green would be last month in July. Average showings before sold, 37. So that's moving up. So it's taking you more showings to get your home sold. So know that you need approximately 37 showings to get your home sold. If you're not getting as many showings, did I say that right? If you're not getting that many showings, know that you are putting yourself behind the eight ball, if you will, in getting your home sold. So you've got to make sure that you are priced accordingly in order to get that number of showings. So that is Markham for the month of August. And you can see those numbers there. Let's flip over into Richmond Hill is our other segment here. All right, here's our Richmond Hill numbers. You can see the number of new listings, 281. Again, this is all freehold properties. Sold 102, showings 8,600, offers 371, and you can see the other numbers there. Average days on market is 24, so it's higher than Markham. And the number of showings before sold is 41.6. We'll call it 42 to be fair. You need 42 showings if you have a home for sale in Richmond Hill to get sold. Again, if you've been on the market for, you can see here for 3+ weeks, and you're not at that number of 41 showings, you've got a pricing problem. That's exactly what it is. So if you are listed right now, if you're a listing agent or if you're a seller and you're watching this, talk to your agent. If you are on the market for 3 weeks and you're not even close to 41, 42 showings, you've got a pricing problem. That's the easiest way to explain it. If an agent called me, one of my agents called me with this exact example, I would ask them and say to them, and show them this data and have them answer their own question in a sense is, why are you not getting these number of showings? Well, the biggest filter is pricing. And of course, the price and everything else will reflect the number of showings that you get. So I always find this data really, really insightful, especially the live broker bay data. If you need some, again, you need some specific areas in some data, I'm happy to help out. Do reach out to me, follow me on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed and all that fancy stuff. My friends, the market is changing. We are certainly going into some months with a lot of uncertainty, and that's where you need to be well educated, partner with a great professional that understands how to interpret the information as well as digest that information, and of course, most importantly, relay that information to you and make sure that you're getting all the right questions and answers placed in front of you. So that's how you get a hold of me right here. Happy to help out. My friends, we'll see everybody in the next video. Goodbye for now.